run through on how to put fondant icing onto your cake and a few little tips along the way. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you're well organised. Your hands have to be really clean. If you are planning to put decorations on top of your cake, they all need to be made in advance. So if you're going to make little flowers, make them in advance. If you're going to do letters and things like that on icing, make them all in advance, because in class you won't have time to do that. These are the things that take the time, but they're the things that make your cake look great at the end. If you are going to use M&Ms or other brought things to put on your cake, buy them all in advance so that you're all ready to go. Okay, so for your cake you want a nice flat surface to work on, so if it's a little bit raised up you might like to just slice off a little bit of the top of your cake. Try not to slice off too much though, because that's less of your cake that you'll have to eat, unless you're planning a shape for your cake. Then you can cut it to the shape that you would like it to be. So you can cut that off and somebody can eat the scraps a bit later. And then you're going to secure your cake to your cake board so it doesn't slip around. So you might like to have a little bit of buttercream icing prepared. Just put a little lump of that on the bottom of your board. And then pop your cake on. If you want to, you can actually ice the bottom of your cake if you want an extra flat surface. Check it sort of sitting centered. And then because you want your icing to stick to your cake, you can either put a very fine coating of buttercream on it, or you can use a little bit of jam or honey, and you can brush your cake so that when you put your fondant icing on your cake, the icing won't slip off. It doesn't need to be very thick, just enough to make your cake stick. Maybe just a little bit around, make your icing stick. So just a little bit around the outside. So you're going to be using this icing, which is called fondant, on your cake. Traditionally, this type of icing is used for special cakes like wedding cakes and really special birthday cakes, because it makes a nice even surface. It's nice to work with, it's not messy. So you'll all have roughly a packet of this icing to work with each. You probably won't need it all though, so we're going to probably use about half of this packet. So just open it up. Now, it will be quite hard to start off with, so you're going to have to soften it up. Make sure your hands are really clean, because you're going to have to mould it like Play-Doh. I've just been softening this icing with my hand, so you just squash it till it's quite pliable like this. You can do it in blocks. It'll take you 2 or 3 minutes just to soften your icing. So this is where you can also have your partner that's helping you with your cake to help you with the softening part. Okay, so once you're happy with that, we're going to roll it out. So another little tip is sometimes it's hard to know how wide to roll your icing out. You can take a piece of cotton, and if you put the cotton on one side of the cake, take it over to the other side of the cake, and then cut it. That will be your approx measurement for when you've rolled your icing out, to see if you've actually rolled it long enough to cover your cake. So another little tip for rolling out your icing is to do it on glad wrap, because then it won't stick to the bench, and you can lift your glad wrap up and put it over your cake that way. sometimes you might need 2 pieces of fabric, depending on how big your cake is. Try to not have any wrinkles in it because that will come out on your cake. You can smooth it out a little bit afterwards. A bit of icing sugar so that your cake doesn't stick. Smooth out any lumps, and also put some on your rolling pin. Okay, so you're ready to roll out your icing. When you're rolling, just turn as you go. I've been told that if you have a square cake, roll your icing round, and if you have a round cake, roll your icing square. I'm not quite sure why that works, but apparently it will fit to your cake better. Try not to go off the edge. So when you're starting to think, is it the right size, you can take your little piece of string and you can see if you've made it long enough. So it has to be longer. Trying to sort of make it a little bit squarish in shape. So when it goes over the cake, it should fit nicely. Just lift it up. You can fold it like this when you're lifting it, so it doesn't break. And we're just about ready to see if it's going to be big enough to fit. Take our string, and it's going to be big enough that way, big enough that way. Yep, that should fit our cake nicely. And once you have it rolled out, you can, sometimes you can drape it over top of your rolling pin. So you lift it up. Put your cake so that the edge of the icing is only just on the other side. And you can roll over your cake like that. And just with your hands, work your way around the cake. Checking your hands are clean. Rings and things can make marks on a cake, so if you can, take your rings off. Should have done that earlier. So work around your cake. Again, long fingernails can all make little indentations in your icing. And once you're happy that your cake is got icing around it, you can then take a knife and trim the edges. So when you're trimming your cake, just stay a little bit out from the edge of your cake so that you can push those edges under. can use probably a slightly sharper knife than a bread and butter knife. These pieces can be used later, so don't throw them away, they can be used again. And again, with a clean hand, you can smooth the top and just tuck your cake around the edges. If you're piping later on, you can pipe a little border around the bottom, and that can hide any jaggedy edges. And now you're ready to start doing your design. Okay, so in class at the start of our cake unit, you all would have done your concept ideas. Make sure you have your concept idea with you so that once you're ready to put your decorations on, it's nice and quick and easy and you can see what you're doing. So for example, I've got two different ones here, and for the sake of this little cake that we're making here, we're just going to pick the simplest one. Often simple is best. So I'm going to use a combination of some pebbles on here for our year 11, and then I'll put on one of our little flowers that we've made. So have fun with your cakes. Remember, it's all about having a bit of fun. Don't worry if it's not perfect, because you're just learning, and the more you do, the better you get. Lots of YouTube clips to help you, and look forward to seeing your cakes.